Now I know what you're thinking. You think the juice is loose. How y'all doing, folks? It's Beetlejuice Orange Hat here to bring you another theme stream, top picks of 2024. And, well, for this one, the juice is loose. And that's enough of using that voice because, honestly, while I do like doing my Beetlejuice voice, it does kind of strain my throat a little bit, so... How y'all doing, folks? Welcome back to another theme stream. I'm live both on X and on YouTube. Hopefully you all are watching more on YouTube than X because, well, I would like to get my hours back up because they have dropped tremendously over December. I mean, I've already reached the 4,000 threshold, but I would still like my watch time back up, And I would also like my subscribers back, YouTube. Thank you for robbing me of them and for other channels damaging my brand. But yeah, today we are going to be talking Beetlejuice. One of my other top picks was Sonic 3, and this one is Beetlejuice. Now, y'all are going to be shocked that one movie is not in this pick for this month, which is Deadpool and Wolverine. These top picks that I've done, I did by legitimately going to the theaters and watching. I did not see Deadpool and Wolverine in theaters, so yeah. But with that out of the way, let's say hello to the people in the chat. Hello to Conroy1776 and Neozoic and everybody else who is currently watching on X as well, to the two people on X. But yes, I am going to be talking about Beetlejuice. Now, Sonic 3 was my favorite pick of 2024. That movie just worked, It really worked. It had it had a great heroic journey story in it. Now, a lot of people, Odin from OMB Reviews, who I enjoy and respect a lot, he disagrees with me. He didn't really like that much. But you know what? That's the wonderful thing about many of us. We can actually agree and disagree and still be friends, How would I compare Beetlejuice 2 with other 2024 movies, such as Dune Part 2? Didn't watch it, so I couldn't care less. Godzilla X Kong New Empire, thought it was good. Twisters, Watchmen, didn't watch it. So, Jury Number 2, etc. Well, my top picks are the ones that I like best. So far, Sonic 3 and this one are the ones that have been revealed. Top 5, I would say that Deadpool and Wolverine hits the number 5 spot. But the ones that I'm going for on this list, next week I will reveal what next week's is at the end of this stream. But yeah, those other movies, I mean, don't get me wrong, I loved Godzilla X Kong New Empire. It's number 6 it's number 6 out of the films that I enjoyed. Twisters was number 7. I like Twisters. But a lot of these films that I liked, Beetlejuice was in the top 4. In fact, it's number 2. I'm going in order. And y'all are going to be shocked about that order. As much as I like Deadpool, Wolverine, there were 4 other movies I liked a little bit better. And when I went to the theaters for this, folks, I'm not just going to be talking about the movie itself. I'm going to be talking about my theatrical experience for this movie. When I went to the theaters to see this movie, and this is from Fandango at Home, this is where my digital library resides. As I said, when I did this movie, folks, when I watched this movie and such, I enjoyed it so much because at the time, I needed a laugh. I needed to go to the theater, just fucking escape from reality for a bit. And Beetlejuice was the perfect movie because I had not laughed so hard in the theater in such a long time. So to Tim Burton, to Jenna Ortega, Michael Keaton, Winona Ryder and all those other actors and actresses involved in this movie, as well as all the crew and whatnot. Thank you so much for doing this movie the way you did, because honestly, I needed that laugh, and you guys provided a relief and escape that was really good. I mean, Jenna Ortega's character, her character, not her character, was pushing the whole feminism thing, but I wouldn't say it is very woke, because they mention it and then that's it. It's gone. Doesn't fucking care. I obviously didn't include Joker 2 or War of the Rohirrim as well, since, well, yeah, Yeah, I refused to watch Joker 2 after I heard what happened in it, and I honestly just, I was going to watch it, but until I can see it without having to pay for it, well, yeah, which will be never, because I do not feel like getting Max back again. So yeah, and hello to Vanya, and a lot of elements of this film was reused from Beetlejuice animated series. Exactly, because the animated series is also canon. But this movie, I absolutely love it. It had a great cast. Let me go over to where I am sharing this from, which I do believe is over here. I mean, yep, Tim Burton, Michael Keaton, Winona Ryder, Catherine O'Hara, Justin Theroux, Monica Bellucci, Jenna Ortega, Willem Dafoe. I mean, and the list just keeps going. Didi Gardner as a producer. All right. So Bern Gorman. Bern Gorman has been in a lot of films with different roles. I mean, he played a kind of semi-debaucherous priest, but also one who was trying to get people to go back to church. So I do kind of applaud that little bit, but not really, because he is debaucherous, as I said. Tim Burton, when it's a Tim Burton film, you know to expect a visual spectacle. You know to expect a more goth, dark kind of version of the story you are getting. But Beetlejuice is actually original in itself, because it wasn't exactly, I mean, oh yeah, and I'm well aware Danny DeVito made a cameo. This movie was just well done. And the first one, beautifully done. I mean, as much as I'm not a fan, or as much of a non-fan as I am of Alec Baldwin as a person, he did a good job in the movie. Gina Davis, another good job in the original movie. And all those other actors and actresses that were dead people and whatnot. I mean, that's the wonderful thing about this, folks. This movie, if you get the digital version on Fandango at home, you get access to the American Sign Language version, making of Ghosts, or The Ghost with the Most, Beetlejuice Returns, special features, the handbook for the recently deceased, Shrinkers, the Shrunken Head Group, an animated afterlife, the stop motion art of Beetlejuice, because yes, they actually went back to the stop motion way of doing things, recorded it and had a great job digitally or enhancing it and whatnot. Meet the Deets, Till Death Do We Part, Their First Dance, and then the commentary by Tim Burton. I'm definitely going to be watching the commentary later on. I haven't watched it yet, but I really do enjoy commentary, or films with commentary in them. I am a person who actually likes watching movies with audio commentary, because you learn things as the director or whoever is watching it. You get a thought on their thoughts in that moment, which are cemented in history if they are recorded in a thing or in a commentary, How would you compare the sequel with other Tim Burton films, such as the first one, two Batman films, Scissorhands, Sleepy Hollow? Burton, as I said, he is a visual storyteller, but he also has that dark edge to them. Sleepy Hollow is one of the best versions of that story that I have ever seen, but he is not afraid to show the bloodletting that was done in that film. Edward Scissorhands, which was such a great movie that really catapulted Johnny Depp into stardom. And it was a really well told story as well. I also do believe that Vince Price was the creator of Edward Scissorhands in the movie. He was the person who created Edward, if I remember correctly. Vince Price played the character. Ed Wood, I hadn't seen it. Pee-wee's Big Adventure, Jesus, I haven't seen that in a while. Mars Attacks was just batshit crazy, and I loved it. Big Fish was a really good story. I mean, that story took you for a good ride, man. Isn't Tim Burton related to Adam Burton, the creator of The Grim Adventure? I have no idea. Both have a knack for horror comedy. I don't know if he's related to Tim Burton. You'd actually have to do a Google search. Are Tim Burton and Adam Burton related? But this movie, it does a really good job at continuing a story years later. That's the thing with sequels, folks. If you can do a sequel that takes place years later, like Top Gun Maverick, or this movie, or you got to make sure the story is well done. You can't just pick up like you left off. It just doesn't work that way. I mean, legacy sequels, which I believe are what these are called, they need to pick up the story, yes, but they need to do it in a way that allows you to understand time has gone by and things have changed. But the characters cannot change to the point where they are completely different, you know? I want to say that the only reason why I watched Beetlejuice is because of Jenna Ortega. Well, who hasn't? I mean, Jenna Ortega is an up-and-coming actress, and yes, she is also physically attractive, sure. I'm not so sure on her political stances and whatnot. I mean, she kind of sided with a terrorist organization politically, so yeah. But hey, hell to you, Jet Sparks. Good to see you, man. We have got to do a collab sometime, dude. You got to come on one of my streams sometime. I miss you on my streams, man. But one of the things I do like about her character, yes, her character is a feminist, but she also does not like her mom, thinking that her mom always just talks to ghosts or it's just a grift or whatever, but not realizing she has the gift herself. That is something that is interesting in itself, because I've also been watching the show Medium, folks, about a woman named Alison Dubois, who actually exists in real life and is a medium in real life, but the show is an exaggeration of her life. Her daughters have that gift as well as she does. And when when you have a hereditary thing like a psychic gift, the kids don't always pick up on it, you know? The kids, well, sure, they won't understand. They'll have it from a kid's perspective. They won't understand what the heck is going on like their mother does. And that is something that I actually enjoy out of the Medium show, but also in this show too, or in this movie, because she meets up with this kid. This kid she thinks is a living kid until, well, he drops the hammer and shows that he's dead. And then she's kind of just smitten with him because, well, holy crap, he understands me. Childish mistake. And that's the wonderful thing about this. It is a childish mistake that she makes. And, well, long story short, your daughter's screwed. Lydia Dietz, who basically started popping pills because of the anxieties of living with such a gift. And she kind of made a name for herself, and she was exploited during her recovery from the trauma she had from Beetlejuice and whatnot. The guy that plays Rory, Justin Theroux and whatnot, did a great job at being that piece of shit enabler. I mean, it really is an interesting shot. Catherine O'Hara coming back, playing freaking, oh my God, playing the mother, Delia Dietz. I gotta say, she did it great. She did it great. She was an artist that really needed to express herself, and she found the best way to do it. And we all know about the whole Jeffrey Jones situation in this movie, folks. His character is dead. His character is not on screen in the flesh, except for a dead body with no head, because he got bitten in half by a shark, essentially. But I like how they incorporate the character without having to bring back the actor, because we all know what happened with the actor. The actor kind of had a little bit of a very disgusting misadventure. Yeah, we'll just say that. Yeah, the MMPR movie streaming data, while back was fun, I need to start doing like retrospective reviews of Power Rangers. Yep, Mighty Morphin Power Rangers. Franchise on the channel, but mostly I've just been focused on trying to write. Yeah, hey man, I get you. Writing can be addicting in itself. I've been doing a lot of writing myself. I actually wrote that Dark Marvel story, and you know what, Jet Sparks, let me know if you want to read that Dark Marvel story. That Marvel story is off the hook, dude. I explained a little bit during my weekly recap on Sunday. It goes dark. So if you want to read about it, or let me know, and I'll send you a link to it later after I'm done. How would I compare Michael Keaton's Beetlejuice with the other roles, such as Batman, Vulture, Cars, yada yada? He was the voice of Chick Hicks. Nice. Toy Story 3, he was Ken. Okay. Birdman, Jack Frost. Yep. Or the paper and whatnot. Michael Keaton has done a great job. He's shown that he has a lot of range, and I absolutely love him in Multiplicity, because that really tested his range. Because you see him as a father who's trying to get things done around the house, but is so freaking stretched thin due to his job as an engineer and whatnot, and so he has to play himself. Then he has to play a more misogynistic and masculine version of himself. Then he has to play a feminist version of himself. And then he has to play a mentally challenged version of himself. So he plays 4 roles in that movie, and he does so good at it. I mean, it really is so great. But yeah, his Beetlejuice, where he gets to let loose with just how crazy he can be, is absolutely awesome. It really is. Vulture, where he played Adrian Toomes in the MCU. I thought he played a good version of it. He played a character that was greedy, couldn't let it go, ended up screwing himself over. But I do like how he handled that character, you know? He showed that he wasn't an idiot. And I really like that. To answer that question. Yeah, it's just not an easy way to have. Yeah, in real life. Yeah. Like I said, putting it lightly, it was a misadventure it was a disgusting misadventure. Now, getting back to this, because I actually do have overlays like I do in everything. Winona Ryder's character in this movie, she picked up Lydia Dietz as if she hadn't put it down. She was a teenager back in in the original Beetlejuice, where she was I believe she was like 4 or 5 or 14 or 15. I think 16 at oldest. And she was talking with the dead people. She could understand that she had a gift. And well, things happened where she got herself into stuff that she didn't quite understand. And well, shit happened with Beetlejuice, you know? Picking up in it, before we go to Catherine O'Hara, getting back to Lydia, I do like her character in this because she has the experience now. She is a mother. She's going to protect her child as best as she can, even though her child very much does not like her. Her mother, or her daughter, thinks her mother is a nutcase. Thinks that she is a freaking grifter and whatnot. And I like how she still fights to protect her child. And when she spars up against Beetlejuice in a couple of scenes in this movie. I absolutely love it. And it's really done well. Let's see if I actually have the guy there. And she shacks up with this guy, sadly, who kind of forces himself onto her a little bit. Not sexually, but enables himself. This dude is such an asshole. And Justin Theroux did such a great job playing him. And I gotta say, folks, he really did a great job with it. Because by having that character be the way he was, then Beetlejuice just coming in with a huge thing of truth serum and just right in the neck. And he's like, tell all, buddy, tell all. And he's like, well, why did you want to get with me? Money! I just love how he's trying to fight it, but he can't. So he just basically gives into it. But yeah, Jeffrey Jones and his misadventures led to his character looking like this. Getting his shoulders and heart and whatnot. And you can actually see a little bit of his heart there. You can also see some shark teeth in there too. But yeah, I mean, that they did such a great job. I mean, this is Jenna Ortega's dad or father character in the movie. Richard, I believe his name was. He has a bunch of piranha still biting him and such because he died in the Amazon. And one of the things that Jenna Ortega's character is like, well, why can't you speak to him? You know, the one ghost that matters to me, why can't you speak to him? And I like Jenna Ortega's character too. I mean, yes, she is a little bit of a nutcase with the feminism and whatnot, but it's like Winona was 17 in the first one. Okay, her character was 17. But yeah. When it does come to Jenna Ortega's character and the Dietzes themselves, they're dysfunctional family. And also Delia here, who is just nuts. Still crazy as fuck. But she plays it brilliantly because it shows that she has expanded in her craziness, in her eccentricity. And she's like, asps, I got him defanged. And she gets nailed in the neck and dies. And it's like, are you serious? I mean, what on earth possessed you to think that would work? How would I compare Winona's writer roles with such as her other roles? She did great in Dracula, Edward Scissorhands. Stranger Things, I really like her character in Stranger Things. Alien Resurrection, she does a good job as an android, you know? She does a good job as an android. I haven't seen Mermaids, Crucible, or Heathers, so I wouldn't know much. The family reconciliation with the father was a sweet moment. Yes. Now, there is a moment when they are on Saturn or whatever, or one of the moons of Saturn, where the sandworm is. And there's a... Now, they show the father. I'm going to show you right here. The father is seen right here, where his skin is blue and whatnot. His skin is blue. And yet, when they are... What are your top Burton movies? I'll enter that in a second. When she certainly would make it a new montage in Dumb Ways to Die. Right? Now, this scene here where he comes and rescues them out of the sand pit or the sandworm area. When he puts his hand down, let me get rid of the comment here. And the picture here. Media access. Yeah, when he puts his hand down like this, you see his hand is not, that was a movie mistake because his hand was brown or is actual the color of his actual skin. And it's like, if he was dead, shouldn't his hand be blue, you know? So it was kind of a huge mistake that they made in the movie, which is quite noticeable and whatnot. So I really actually enjoy that there are some mistakes that you can spot in the movies. Folks, if a movie is absolutely perfect, it really isn't a good movie. I mean, an objectively perfect movie does not exist. But also fun mistakes here and there, they can also work to the movie's benefit. if you're or if you know what you're looking for. What are my top Burton movies? Batman Returns, the Beetlejuice movies, and Sleepy Hollow are my top 5, I would say. Dark Shadows, I believe, was a Burton movie, if I remember correctly. So I also like that one too. But yeah, this movie, or continuing on with this movie, actually, speaking of the cameo that I actually had to pull up here, Danny DeVito, his character that was also introduced alongside Monica Bellucci's character. Now, folks, while I do love this movie and I got a great laugh out of it, I can't acknowledge that this movie was all over the place with subplots. Subplots of the kid that wants to come back to life, the murdering kid, boyfriend to Jenna Ortega here. These guys here that are on the case looking for Monica Bellucci's character, who's a soul sucker. But yeah, this kid here, Jeremy. Then you got this guy here, and then you got the same amount of time from the first movie, Beetlejuice. But this character here, oh my God, man. When I say that there is such a thing as clearly established makeup, Willem Dafoe's character, Wolf, that is just, you could tell that was freaking makeup. They made no effort, none, to show that that was makeup or to show that that wasn't makeup. And yeah, Scissorhands, don't get me wrong. I also like Scissorhands. I like a lot of Burton's movies, but my top picks are the ones I mentioned. You know what? That can also be subject to change later on. I'm not a person that holds on to the things the same way as others. My sister is a massive fan of Nightmare Before Christmas, so much so that she even got a themed Christmas tree and ornaments. Nice. How would I compare Elfman's score for Beetlejuice sequel with other scores, such as the first one, Batman films? Elfman does a great job with the Beetlejuice score. Because if you pay attention to the Beetlejuice score, that thing is so freaking randomized. You can't get a read on it. I mean, yes, it does come into a harmonious section or into a harmonious piece, but oh my God, dude, there are so many elements to it that just work. I mean, I can't play it, but I absolutely love the beginning of it. The where it goes, I mean, I really enjoy the Beetlejuice theme. It is my favorite out of Elfman's scores. Batman, his Batman score for the first movie is always going to be iconic because it also inspired the Batman animated series score. The Spider-Man films, I did not know that he was actually did the Spider-Man films, but it sort of makes sense, now that I think about it. But Batman and Beetlejuice and Nightmare Before Christmas, where Danny Elfman actually sings, he was the singing voice for Jack Skellington, was actually very good. But I absolutely love how the introduction to this movie with the theme is the same, hasn't been touched, to the first one. And it's just great. Top 5 favorite scores. Oy. Well, Beetlejuice was number 1. Number 2 is Batman. Number 3, let's say Nightmare Before Christmas. Number 4 would most likely be Spider-Man. And number 5 would probably be Sleepy Hollow. Look, I know I like women to fall, but come on, he was unnecessary, and Monica Bellucci didn't really contribute much to the plot. You're right, she was only basically contributing to be trying to get the hell away or get the hell out of the afterlife for Beetlejuice, but also for a pretty hilarious flashback or flashback black and white monologue in Spanish by Michael Keaton. It was just so fucking hilarious. I like Willem Dafoe, but he was really unnecessary in the movie. And even Monica. Yeah, the movie objectively, it has way too many side characters that are just put in a little too much, you know? And they are supposed to be side characters, but they end up pulling focus away from the main story a little too much in this movie. But one of the things I do like with the Monica Bellucci character is how they show her character floating, kind of like gliding along instead of walking. And the camera is basically hitched around her or they have her on like some sort of hoverboard track, and they just float her or glide her forward and whatnot. And it really is done well. It's fun that Danny Elfman did both Batman and Spider-Man scores, since both are iconic heroes. Exactly. But yeah, Danny Elfman's Beetlejuice score is absolutely iconic because of how random it seems, but still comes together. I mean, you have it at the beginning, that little, and then you hear "Daylight come and me won't go home," and that's when it kicks off. I mean, that is, if I ever could ever afford Beetlejuice makeup and whatnot and stuff, I would, and had my own place, I would blast that on loudspeakers outside my home for kids to come to trick or treat, and I'd be dressed as Beetlejuice, and I'd be doing this voice, kind of like this: "The juice is loose." And I would just, oh my God, I could have so much fun with that. I saw at Universal Studios the Beetlejuice show. It was so much fun. Dear God, I could have sworn my eardrums would have popped a couple times with how loud the things were. But yeah, it was such a fun time there too. But this movie, it brings back that fun. I mean, yes, I also remember playing the Nintendo game for Beetlejuice, which was so much fun in itself. Because you got to step on Buzz, you got to eat Buzz, you got to do this, you got to do that, and whatnot. Nintendo had some great games, man. But getting back to this movie, when they do the stop motion, it is really well done. And this movie has great visual effects as well. The story goes off in its random tangents, but still manages to maintain its focus with Beetlejuice. And when Michael Keaton as Beetlejuice is on screen, God damn, it works so well. I mean, I absolutely loved it, where you think it's like, "Don't stop that passport." And he's like, "Too late." And then it says, or it's like, shit, or it's Beetlejuice, and he's like, stamps a shit out of luck and sends the kid straight to hell. He's like, "Later, fucker." Later, fuckers. It was just so fucking great. I still can't believe that they actually censored that F-bomb in the movie. It's a rated R movie that censored the F-bomb. What the fuck? Because he actually says, "Later, fucker," and then pulls the lever on the kid. And I love it because it's like, "Yep, shit out of luck. Yeah, later, fucker." And just pulls the fucker out. It's such a great shot. And that sick burn that Astrid makes at those schoolgirls in the trailer is not in the movie either. Was so good. I'm gonna have to go back to the trailer because I don't remember it, but I definitely now want to see what she said. Jenna Ortega did a good job in this. She actually does a good job in this movie. But I also love her freaking shit-eating grin in this movie, in the scene that is like a nightmare for Lydia, where they're in Transylvania and they see Dracula's castle, and you then see freaking Astrid just meet this dude, this fucking Dracula cosplayer. She ends up marrying the guy. They're ending up having a kid, and it's Beetlejuice kid. It's the freaking Beetlejuice baby and whatnot. And I love that, because then you see her, or you see it fall down on her after she had just given birth, And she just laughs. She just has this huge smile. She's like, and she starts laughing. And I'm like, this can't be real. This just can't be real. And then you see her wake up, and then you see Beetlejuice right next to her. Oh, I just had the weirdest dream. Oh yeah, that was a massive what the fuck moment, Jet Sparks. And thank you, Vanya. I mean, when I'm passionate about a movie, if I truly enjoy a movie, I go. This is my unfiltered business of it, man. I really do love the movie, and this shows that I really do love these movies because I could discuss them all day. I mean, usually I'm actually ending the stream by this time, but I'm not going to end the stream right now. But yeah, that was one of the best movies or what the fuck moments, and then it shows you that there is a potential future ahead because I do believe they are going to have a Beetlejuice movie. I do believe that there will be a third one. But I really do love this movie because you get to see, or in the special features, the additional stuff behind the scenes, you get to see what some people died from and some of the background characters who are dead and such. And it really is fun to see Bob, or the character Bob, which I believe you only saw him once in the first movie. He was actually in the waiting room at the time. And then he's working for Beetlejuice as let's see here, this one. He actually becomes a freaking double for Beetlejuice. It's like, are you serious? And I'm not proud of how he dies to Monica Bellucci's character because she's a soul sucker, and it's like, I'm sorry, he shouldn't die because she should have just been so pissed off that she doesn't kill him. That would have been a better choice in the movie because it just works better at that point. Now, the one thing that I got bored with was the scene, or was in this scene, where they were the dance with Lydia and Beetlejuice. That drew on a little too long. And I said that in my review. That did draw on a little. It's like, okay, wrap it up. Come on. Wrap it up. I'm now starting to get bored to a point where I'm going to start docking points. And I did. Objectively, I docked a lot of points because, one, they did draw way too long on that movie. And when I watch this movie, if I'm watching it by myself, I fast forward through that whole fucking thing. I cannot stand that scene. That singing and dancing bit. Yes, Keaton is visibly older, but honestly, it still works. It still works. They need to make a third movie before Burton himself and Keaton croak. They're making it. I do believe that they are going to start making it within the next couple of years. And we don't want to see a sequel in 20 or 30 years by the time Jenna's probably Winona's age. Yeah, Jenna Ortega is like, what, 23, 24? So yeah, she actually played a 16 or 17-year-old in this movie, which, passable. Passable. But also, again, I think that Jenna has also fallen into the trap where she's a 20-year-old still playing somebody who's a teenager. Same thing applies to cast members in Wednesday, Emma Myers. Yeah. She's 22. Okay. She'll be 23 later this year. But it still doesn't change the fact that Jenna Ortega is a good actress. She has some shit takes in real life, but she's a good actress. I actually thought she did a pretty good job as Wednesday. I saw a little bit of the Wednesday show, and it's like, she actually does a pretty good job, you know? I won't watch the Scream movie that she's in because I refuse to watch anything past the fifth one. After the fifth one, which was made with the sole purpose of insulting people like me and other people who like franchises that were abused. That movie was basically made to say, fuck you, you're nothing but a psychotic serial killer to them, or to people like us. And thank you to Bounding into Comics for actually writing the article about it, or about my take on that. But getting back to Beetlejuice, I still love the movie, even though that dancing scene went on for boringly too long. Like an actual seriously, I checked my phone. I checked my phone. If I check my phone in the theater, this movie loses points. And yes, at that point, the movie lost a point off of my moviegoer experience due to the fact that they just took it a little too far, you know? And they even acknowledge, yeah, it's a bit of a lengthy scene, but I still think it is hilarious. And it's like, well, sure, hilarious, I get it, but still drawn on a little too long from an objective standpoint. That move, or you start taking people out of the movie a little bit. Case in point with Emma Meyer, she plays Pippa Fitz-Moby in the Netflix adaptation of YA novel, youth adult novel called A Good Girl's Guide to Murder. Okay, weird. The only thing I'm watching on Netflix right now is Dragon Ball Daima and Cobra Kai. Yeah, those are the only things I'm really watching on Netflix at the moment. Hopefully they actually start putting I like the English dub versions of animes that I watch because, well, I don't want to have to keep pausing like every 5 seconds just to freaking see what everybody's saying, you know? I'm sorry. I never learned Japanese. So, yeah, I'm sorry. I would like to pay attention to what's going on the screen, knowing what they're saying, not having to pause and look down at the words. That's just me. But getting back to Beetlejuice, I do love how characters are, or especially Catherine O'Hara. This is a mistake. I'm not supposed to be here. Oh, where is he? Beetlejuice. Hi, I'm already here. It's like, yeah, I'm already here. What's up? And oh, it's just so great. But I also love when Winona Ryder finally has to summon him. She's backed up into that corner like she was in the first movie. And she's like, oh, I'm going to regret this. And she calls him out. And I just love it. It's like, the juice is loose. Brilliant teaser moment in the entire movie where he comes out. It's like, who the fuck said his name? Because in that moment, you think, or from what the teaser shows, you don't think that she said, or you actually don't get the impression that she said his name. You see that she's shocked with what's going on, you know? And then he comes out of the model and it's like, the juice is loose. And it's like, oh shit, what the hell's about to happen here? You know? Now, there is some sort of extended version out there where there's like 45 extra minutes of Beetlejuice, which I would absolutely love to see sometime. I mean, that's the thing. Movies nowadays do not have those extended editions. They really need to get back into doing that. If they have a movie that would be better with an extended edition, they really do need to get back into releasing those. Like Venom, if they would have done an R-rated version or an unrated version of Venom, and an unrated or R-rated version of Venom, Let There Be Carnage, those movies would be infinitely better. As well as if they had done one for the third one, The Last Dance. Which Michael Keaton role do you prefer, Bruce Wayne, Batman, or Beetlejuice? Beetlejuice. I mean, as much as I love him as Bruce Wayne and Batman, Beetlejuice, Michael Keaton was born to play it, you know? Yeah, the whole plot that shows novel adaptations of Emma, I have no idea what that is, man. I have no idea what that is. I'm sorry, I haven't watched the case or watched the show at all, so I wouldn't know what the heck you're referencing. But back on Beetlejuice, I love that, and everybody thinks it, or it's like, did she read through the whole book, the deceased or recently deceased, the handbook of the recently deceased? Because she seems to know that in the book, there's a clause that if you break any laws, the contract's null and void. That is a bit of a plot hole. So I am hoping that someday there will be an extended version of Beetlejuice, which kind of trims up the plot holes a little bit, kind of shortens them out or puts a little bit or plugs those plot holes, because it's like, wait, When did she read the whole book? You know, when did she read the whole book? Because Beetlejuice has a contract that what's her name signs, or that Lydia signs. And he's like, hey, you gave me your word. And it's like, well, shit, you know? I was wondering what if Michael Keaton play as the Joker, given Beetlejuice has the Joker look to him. I don't think he would do a good Joker, honestly. I honestly do not think he would do a good Joker. Because I can picture him as a Joker, and it's just not a good version. That's just me, though. But getting back to Beetlejuice, Danny DeVito's thingy here, his cameo, I absolutely loved it. It's like, dude, Danny DeVito, where the fuck have you been, man? It's like been years since I've seen you in anything. Comment here. Sorry, get back to the comments. And it's just the same show as Wednesday, but it's more grounded in reality, where Emma Myers is trying to solve a murder case. She's Nancy Drew. Okay, I got it. So it's basically a Nancy Drew thing. And you know what? I mean, that's fine. But me, I've actually become a lot more picky with the stuff I watch, because nowadays there actually are stuff they need to get out of the woke era. They need to get out of the woke era. We've had some diamonds in the rough with movies like Alita, with movies like Top Gun Maverick, and a few others. But they need to break out of it completely. Stop having diamonds in the rough and start having a diamond mine of movies that are just great movies, you know? And this one was one of those diamonds in the rough of the woke era. As much as Jenna Ortega's character starts talking about climate change and this and that and whatnot, it's like, bitch, get out of that shit. We're getting into or we got to go say goodbye to your grandfather, you know? And she does. And they move on from it, and it's such a great moment. But I also like those moments where Beetlejuice shows up in the real world, like teasing Delia, where you see him walking out of the school. You also see him in the audience and whatnot. They were such great moments. Danny DeVito, I'm not sure how much time he's got left, but I guess he might, or he's just might as well just ride the wave until he does. Danny DeVito is a good actor, especially in the Tim Burton movie that he was in, which was Batman Returns. I absolutely loved him as Penguin. He was a great character. That dude deserves. Danny DeVito is such a great actor. And I really do respect the man for it. But when it comes to Beetlejuice and Beetlejuice, I like how they covered the father's whole situation, where, yeah, he got bit and you can't see who he is anymore because of, well, Jeffrey Jones kind of screwed himself over by making bad decisions. And so, yeah, we get that. I like how they actually were able to work around that. They did the whole puppetry thing, sure, and they got her around it. Thank you so much for stepping in, Neozoic. So, yeah. And to the people watching on X as well, thank you all who are on X, the 7 of you who are on X, for watching too. You guys or if you want to support my channel, definitely sub to my channel. I'm trying to get to 2,000 subs by the end of this year now. I was trying to get to 2,000 before the end of last year, but unfortunately, YouTube kept my channel suppressed. And I'm going to be making like 3 videos after this, after this stream is done. I'm going to be recording 3 videos, which, yeah, trust me, not looking forward to, but they need to be done because I got to keep getting content out. And some of them might be on the weekly recap. But anyway, this movie, objectively, I would say that this movie was about a 7 out of 10. That is objective without my bias being in this, or being in the figuring. 7 out of 10 objectively. That's pretty good. However, it's also, or was some problems in it. You had some pacing issues that just screwed up, editing issues that were not good, unfinished shots that could have been a little bit better. The hand for the dad not being painted, that's an unfinished shot. So yes, objectively speaking, 7 out of 10. Subjectively speaking, where I do put my bias in it, I am putting this movie at a 10 out of 10. I absolutely loved it. It gave me the laughs that I needed. It truly benefited my health in such a way that lowered my blood pressure to the point where I just was very happy for about an hour and 45 minutes. Yeah. Moviegoer, 9 out of 10. It's a 9 out of 10 film because the movie, that dance scene at the end in the church made me check my phone. But it is a solidly entertaining film with that one little boring scene at the end. That's about it. But yes, folks, for next week, my third favorite of the year of 2024 is Alien Romulus. I will be talking about Alien Romulus next week. And that week also, me and Mara are back with our 1s and 2s on her channel. We'll be talking Rocky and Rocky 2. And for the singles on X, for next week, we will be talking Alita Battle Angel. And the week after, we will be talking the movie Warm Bodies with Nick Holt. So thank you to everybody who tuned in. Jet Sparks, Neozoic, Christian Freights, Conroy, Vanya. Y'all freaking make this channel or keep this channel going. Tonight, I do believe I am back on the Barroom Podcast with Society Reviews at 8 p.m. instead of 9 p.m. We're now starting an hour earlier. So yeah, looking forward to that. We're going to discuss some stuff. And y'all have a wonderful night, folks, and day. Check out my videos that I'm going to be releasing, a couple of them today, and maybe one of them will release tomorrow. They're going to be timed releases, except for the one that I finish after this one. So, yes, thank you to everybody who has been supporting my channel. If you can, like the videos you see. I've pretty much regularly every Sunday and Tuesday. Unless there is something serious going on, I will not, I will be sticking to my normal schedule. Fridays, Orange Hat Uncensored is back now that I have finally fixed my YouTube or my Streamyard issue. So, yep, thanks to that being fixed. And yeah, I'm going to get out of here so I can make a couple of videos, and y'all have a wonderful day. And always remember to stay humble. Peace.
Are you done? Are you done?